After a long hiatus, a lack of entries, and pretty much not knowing what to do, the NASA RallyCross Challenge is back in full force. As always, starting their new season, the 2013 B season, here at the Croft RallyCross Circuit in the United Kingdom. I am Josh Mertz, bringing you the commentary feed, as always, for the Automotive Sports Network, as we've missed having this series on our on-demand airwaves, as we have 18 cars and 2 provisionals getting ready to go to take part in this race. This is the biggest field we've ever had at the Croft circuit for this race. It's the Daytona 500, or the Indianapolis 500 of the NASA RallyCross Challenge, with a specific 4-lap format. You have to take each path once. Every single race is 4 laps, and it's incredibly exciting and leads to some interesting strategy. As before we get started, we're going to start on our social media plugs. We have a Facebook page at facebook.com/automotive sports network, our twitter.com page, twitter.com/ASNTV_USA, hashtag ASNTVUSA for Twitter and Facebook. You're watching this race on our ASNTV On Demand page, youtube.com/ASNTVUSA. And once we get our ASN Live page up, which honestly, we have absolutely no idea when will happen, twitch.tv/ASNTVUSA, and our site, which is pretty revamped, and we're looking into actually buying a domain, so asntvUSA.tk is down. Do not pay attention to that. We will keep you posted on the Facebook page. And for any and all broadcasting inquiries, check out asntvUSA@gmail.com, or rather email, for any and all broadcasting information. Comments, questions, or concerns are suggested as well. And this broadcast is brought to you by Java Shot Designs. If you need any paint scheme done for any of your racing interests, check out Adam Sweet and his page at facebook.com/Java Shot Designs. So now, we're here at Croft, and this circuit is interesting, as Heat 1 is now about to go. We have 4 paths at this track. You might be able to see with the camera. On the left side is the regular course. In the middle is the pit lane. Right side is Gymkhana. And that dirt path that winds around the track is the off-road section. You'll see them throughout the race. They have to take each path once, as this is Heat 1 of 4 today with 18 cars. The top 2 will advance automatically to the final race, and the bottom 2 will head off to the LCQ. So on pole is Tanner Smith, then it's Brandon Lambert in his VW Polo, and then the 2 Carolina Motorsports A-Class cars with Don LaPrade and Luke Fleming, as we are getting ready with a Subaru, a VW, and 2 Subarus, a Privateer, a Semi-Works, and 2 Works cars as the 6 championships that are now going to be decided. We'll talk about those later in the show. As we are getting ready to go here, everyone got their launch control set up. As they're revving them up, here we go for heat number 1. It's lights out. Away we go. Off the line. Let's see who gets a good start. It looks like Tanner Smith did, as Brandon Lambert alongside runs it into the tire wall in contact with Luke Fleming. So into turn 1, Tanner Smith leads. Don LaPrade second, Lambert third. Fourth is Fleming. Let's see where they go. Tanner Smith's going to take the chicane, and looks like everyone is except Fleming. Fleming goes off-road. And now Smith pits. No, he doesn't. Short lap. Lambert pits. So the top 2 are taking their short lap, with Lambert pitting and Fleming taking the off-road section, the rally-inspired section. Lambert has to pull into his pit stall, do a 15-second pit stop, 4 tires and fuel in a NASCAR style. As at the end of lap 1, Tanner Smith leads, and the Privateer ATN Autosports Subaru, you can tell that the 2 Subarus are different. The STI, the Works Subaru, and the old style Impreza for the Privateers, as he now takes his off-road lap with Don LaPrade jumping to take Gymkhana. As you notice, they did not take the jump when they're entering pit lane. So here's Luke Fleming. He already exited his off-road lap, and now let's see what he does. It looks like he's going to filter through to the lead. No, he won't, because LaPrade took Gymkhana. So we're going to find LaPrade here at the end of lap 2. Don LaPrade leads. And Tanner Smith is in second. Third is Luke Fleming. And it looks like Brandon Lambert, I'm getting word his engine has expired in the VW Polo. Not a good debut for the VW Polo that's leading the 2013 World Rally Championship with Sebastian Ogier. So such a dominant car there is meaningless in Rallycross. So LaPrade is leading. He's going to take the Gymkhana. Smith has to pit. And then Fleming in third. So coming around to end lap number 3, it looks like LaPrade is going to have to pit. White flag for Dunlop Pratt, who's leading. Tanner Smith's pitting, and Luke Fleming is in the drop spot currently as he jumps to take the Gymkhana lap. LaPrade going into the first corners. I noticed I stood on the same camera as LaPrade is all over the track in his Subaru Impreza, as it looks like he's going to go around the jump. As this is a really good camera, though. He goes around the jump down pit lane. There's no pit lane speed limit, and we're going to look at Tanner Smith to see if he can catch him. Pulling into the pit stop, waiting for the mechanics to get to work. Here comes Smith through the chicane. He has to take the jump for the Gymkhana section, lands it. Let's see where he comes out. Will the Delta be anything? Left side's jacked up on the 22 car. Around goes Smith as he will come off the final corner and win the first heat here at Croft. And it's going to be a drag race for the transfer spot as Fleming pips his teammate for the transfer spot, as LaPrade will be the first driver into the last chance qualifier. So what a action-filled heat here already at the Croft RallyCross circuit. So as the drivers are going to go around the track here and park up, the drivers from Heat 2 will get ready to go. So Smith, LaPrade, and Fleming are going to pull around to their pit stalls and get ready to go. In the meantime, the drivers for the second heat of the race are on the track with Mason Wellborn, Daniel Bellamy, Jacob Kraus, and I believe Chris Wetz is in this heat, but we will see, as the top three are there. And no, it's Keith Sherman. So we have Mangled Lemons Motorsports, I think their team name is called, in a Semi-Works Ford. We have Jacob Kraus in a Semi-Works Subaru, Daniel Bellamy, and Mason Wellborn are privateers. So, all four cars are here, getting ready to go. We have a Ford, two privateer Subarus, and a Semi-Works Subaru. So let's see how this goes as we rev them up. As everyone getting lined up over the radio, race official Dylan Livingood says everyone line up. It's okay now, as the launch control is set. Cars are revving up for another 4-lap race for heat number 2 to settle the green gate. For the heat is Tanner Smith and Luke Fleming are in blue for the final. Here we go, rev them up. Kraus jumps, Bellamy jumps, it's lights out, away we go. So now, I wonder if there's going to be any penalties now because they let him by. Okay, so Sherman, the only one who did not jump, is leading into turn 1 with Bellamy. Kraus, as Kraus gets into the back of Bellamy in the car number 199, the No Fear Colin McRae-inspired car. As he takes the off-road section, so does Wellborn. So the two privateer Subarus are out and away in behind, as Kraus will take the shortcut, or short lap rather, excuse me, and Sherman will now pit, as he's going to stop and get the 4-tire service. At the end of lap 1, Jacob Kraus is your leader, with Daniel Bellamy exiting the off-road section in second, and then Mason Wellborn in third spot. Keith Sherman in fourth. He is now clear of the rest of the field, and he can haul it to get those final couple of laps done. As into the wall is Kraus, all over the track in the off-road section. Not the best of lines. We see the works drivers like Dylan Livingood, double defending champion, run all the way to the right-hand side, and I believe the car stuck. He rolled the transmission back. He rolled the transmission back in car number 29, so he is out of the running, and your leader at the end of lap 2 is Daniel Bellamy. So what a tough break for Jacob Kraus. He came in the Carolina Motorsports B-Class car with his teammate Corbin Wentz. Wentz did not show up and didn't say any intention to the race officials about showing up. So he's the only B-Class Carolina Motorsports car, and they are looking for the 2 titles in Works and Semi-Works. As Bellamy takes to the pit lane, it looks like Wellborn will as well. And there's Sherman in car 15. So another heat where we only have 3 cars, as we have 6 championships to be decided this season, as NASA officials went back and calculated all the other titles for the previous seasons. We have obviously the Drivers' Championship as Sherman, nearly crashes the car. Looks like we're coming to the white flag too. We have the Drivers' Championship, the Works Constructors' Championship, which is for Carolina Motorsports A-Class, the Citroen Red Bull Rallycross Team, White Flag, and Revolution Racing. Semi-Works is for halfway privateer, halfway factory teams, so we have about, I think, 5 of them, and then the rest of them are privateers such as Mason Wellborn and Daniel Bellamy, Tanner Smith included. So Bellamy comes around the corner, and it's going to be a battle for the transfer spot as Bellamy is gone. So we're going to see here Will Sherman diving into the corner to get the transfer spot. He runs it a little bit wider than Wellborn. He's going to cut to the inside, try and get it, gives him a bump, and shoves him out wide. And Wellborn's in the fence, and the transfer spot is to Keith Sherman. And that is perfectly acceptable in the Rallycross sport. What a drive by Keith Sherman to transfer through to the final. So the bonus point goes to Daniel Bellamy, with Sherman in second, and Wellborn will advance to the LCQ. It looks like some suspension issues on that car. So as Bellamy will park up here, we're going to go and get the drivers from Heat 3 as they were tagged, and the officials told them, yeah, you're on track now. So here we go on the track. We haven't seen this guy, I believe, since his infamous engine explosion of Riverside. Eric Webler in the new Sweet Baby Rays Mitsubishi. Team Klondike, as always, for Tristan Hagenstein. Great guy. And always playing fun over the radio with the other drivers, shouting Team Klondike, and it's all in good fun. So he is on pole in his Privateer Ford. I believe he's the 2012B Privateer champion. There's Aaron Johnson in car number 43. He finished second in Germany in 2013A. Caleb Paul pulls up to the second grid spot as he is in his Privateer Subaru. We haven't seen him since this race in 2012A. Then I said Aaron Johnson, and then Eric Webler. So these 4 cars, actually I have Chris Wetz. So it's the 5-car heaters. I didn't pay attention. In car number 2 for Revolution Racing. So 3 privateers, a semi-works, and a works car. As 5 cars will still go for 4 laps and 2 spots to see who will make it into the final. As we are getting ready to go, everyone getting launch control set up, starters orders being set. As we rev them up here for 4 laps, top 2 advance. In Heat 3, it's lights out, away we go. As now, off the line, it looks like Aaron Johnson got a great start as they're 3 wide with Webler, Paul, and Hagenstein into turn 1. Paul breaks early, and then Johnson leads. Contact with Webler and Wetz almost, yes they did! Spinning is Wetz and upside down. Here, there he is, as they're spinning. Johnson with Paul, and upside down turtled is Wetz, and race control calling a restart. So we're going to re-grid as Wetz is turtled. They'll get the marshals out there to flip his car over. But the first red flag of the 2013 B season as half the field crashed within the first lap, or at least spun, as that was written in the regulations. As we're going to re-grid it and get ready to go here. As it looks like Chris Wetz might be having issues getting the car into gear. So it might take us a little bit to get going here. But it looked like Webler hit the gas, spun Wetz. Wetz had it, and then it weight shifted, flipped the car. And he was upside down turtled, so he wouldn't even be able to continue. He was off the racing line, so he would have to sit there. And then it looked like just Johnson and Caleb Paul, they hit the curbs wrong, as this circuit really has iffy curbs. It's in the character of the circuit that you have to hit the curbs right, otherwise you're going to go spinning off into the weeds. And many drivers have complained about that, and NASA officials, originally, they said, well, deal with it, it's part of the character of the circuit, but I don't know, they might have to rethink it here. As we're still waiting for Wetz to get the car into gear, I'm hearing that there is some sort of transmission issue with that car, or gearbox issue, as we will wait. But your grid, here he comes. Grid is Hagenstein, Paul, Johnson, Webler on the front row, and then Wetz in the back row where he can choose. In this heat, they will be, easy for me to speak English, they will be deciding who starts in the green grid spot as everyone is revving them up. We'll go as I completely missed the start. So let's go. Down the straightaway here for the second restart. Side by side is Paul with Johnson. Hagenstein didn't get that good start. Is into turn one side by side with Johnson and Hagenstein nearly making contact, nearly hitting the wall. So that could have ended badly, but the privateer champion from a couple seasons ago takes the off-road section. So does the defending teammate, the defending teammate, of the driver's champion. He takes the off-road section, so these two are driving along, as I believe Caleb Paul and Chris Wetz just came from, I don't believe, just slipped my head. They came from a short track. That's all I could tell you, is I had the name in my head, and then it completely it fell out of my mind, as Wetz crashed in the off-road section at the end of lap 1. Hagenstein leads. Oh, Irwindale Speedway in Irwindale, California. There we go, folks. They just came from Irwindale. So they flew from Irwindale to Croft, and they're racing Rallycross. So, as Wetz has crashed again, and is he flipped back over? Yes, he is, because if you get turtled upside down, you're not in a good situation. Hagenstein to the pit lane. So the defending, or not the defending, there was no privateer champion in 2013A. So, I believe Brandon Lambert's the defending privateer champion, and then in 2012B it was Hagenstein. So Hagenstein's pitting, Wetz is pitting, and Webler with Johnson and Paul on the off-road section. This is going to be the end of lap number 2. It's coming around. Paul and Johnson neck and neck here at Croft as he hits the wall. That was interesting. Looks like he tried to turn in as they nearly make contact off the track a little bit, battling for the lead for the bonus point through the chicane. Everyone really, really tiptoeing through there. Caleb Paul takes the off-road lap, as I believe we're on lap 3, but if I messed up, someone's going to slap me in the face with a flounder. As out of the final corner, Caleb Paul, we'll see if it's the checkered flag, we'll see if it's the white flag here. It is the white flag. Everyone's still going at speed. So white flag, as I don't have timing and scoring, as my timing and scoring box, I was told, does not work, so this is why I'm having to do it by ear, or by eyes, and that's why I don't exactly want to get off topic here, because I lose track. Paul goes to the off-road lap, and this is going to allow Aaron Johnson through. He's got the short lap. He will probably win this race, as Hagenstein looks like he parked it. So a technical failure for 3 heat races in a row is off the final turn. Aaron Johnson wins Heat 3, with Caleb Paul finishing second, transferring through. So the true drivers in their first race here at Croft. And then Chris Wetz will finish third, best of the rest. And then Eric Webler is in the 4th position, as Tristan Hagenstein looked to have suspension issues with his Ford Focus. So as these 4 cars pull back to the pit lane, we're going to get Heat 4 drivers on track. The final 5 drivers, and this is going to be an exciting heat, as a lot of fast drivers are in this heat. As here we go, Heat 4, with the double defending drivers champion, Dylan Livingood. Looks like he's going to be in 3rd spot. So, on pole is the Semi-Works car of Casey Lester in his Mitsubishi. Then it's Nick Cars in his Semi-Works Subaru. Then it's Josh Mertz in the Red Bull Citroen World Rallycross Team Citroen Zara. Behind him, his friendly rival, the defending double world champion, Dylan Livingood in his Revolution Racing Mitsubishi. And then alongside them, Case Brinksman in his privateer Ford Focus. So here we go. This is going to be exciting with the 2 championship protagonists from the past seasons in this race. So who will get to the final as they're on the outside, as that's not the best line from the start. So here we go. We rev them up for heat number 4 at Croft. 4 laps. It's lights out. Away we go. Off the line. Lester didn't see the lights go out. Case Brinksma 3 wide with Josh Mertz and Nick Cars. Cars beating and banging with Mertz. Into corner number 1. Cars backs off. Mertz leads into turn 1. Livingood through as smoke in the tires is everyone here in turn number 1. Let's see where they go. Mertz to the off-road section. Living Good. So does Brinksma and Cars. They all go to the off-road section. Pitting is Living Good. And in 5th position is Lester. It looks like he spun in the chicane. And it looks like he's going to Gymkhana. And around his Cars on the off-road lap. So, the Revolution Racing boys have to pit, and we know how fast they are, as it's been a dogfight between Citroen and Revolution since the series inception a year ago. At the end of lap 1, Josh Mertz leads for the Citroen team. In 2nd, Case Brinksma. 3rd, Casey Lester. 4th, Nick Cars. 5th, Dylan Livingood. So you see, even though you spin, you lose all that time, as Mertz is flying. As Case Brinksma in 2nd, let's see where he goes. Mertz is taking the Gymkhana section, flying through the air in the Citroen. So let's see. Looks like Brinksma's going to pit. So will Lester. Living Good is off-road, and Cars might have an issue with his car. So Mertz leads at the end of lap 2. Cars will pit, so we have the 3 cars that are pitting. Living Good's in the off-road section, and Mertz is entering turn 1 as smoke is flying from the 81 car every single time. I think he's the only driver to lock up the brakes in that corner. As Brinksma exits the pit lane, Living Good is in 2nd, then it's Brinksma, and it looks like it's going to be Lester filtering through as the 81 now pits from the lead. So then it's Living Good, Brinksma, Lester, and Cars your running order as the Citroen crew now goes to work. Here comes Living Good through. He is going to take the Gymkhana lap. So we're going to wait and see from if Living Good has the delta time. As no, it looks like they both messed up, so Mertz is clear. So coming off the pit lane to take the white flag in heat number 4, it's going to be Josh Mertz in the lead with Dylan Living Good in 2nd. Case Brinksma 3rd, Casey Lester 4th, Nick Cars 5th. But Cars has to take Gymkhana, Lester off-road. So the Citroen driver, who lost by multiple penalties in 2012C, didn't race in the 3rd race in 2013A before that season was cut short, wants to redeem himself as he rounds the final corner. And coming off the final corner, Mertz wins heat number 4 with Dylan Livingood in 2nd spot. To the LCQ goes Case Brinksma. Here comes Casey Lester. So Mertz wins, gets the bonus point. We'll start on the outside of on the far right, on the front row rather of the far right or far left grid spot. Then it's Casey Lester and I don't believe Nick Cars, as they I believe have given up. No, they've yet to finish, as I still can't speak English. So those 3 are finishing. Lester finishes 4th, and then Nick Cars is in the 5th position. So as they finish up, they're going to park up here, and the LCQ drivers are going to get on track. So we have the heats set. Now it's going to be the LCQ. And this is a no-holds-bar race. It's just the same as the normal heats here at Croft. It's not a special format like every other race we're in. But it's here. You're just going to see all the cars on the grid, and you're just going to be shocked. So on pole, on the front row is Tristan Hagenstein. Then it's Mason Wellborn and Casey Lester with, I believe, that is Dylan LaPrade in car 22. Let's find him. Yes, there is. And that is Jacob Kraus, Nick Cars, Chris Wetz, and Eric Webler. Then it's Brandon Lambert with, I believe, that's Case Brinksma. So the 10-car field, and they're going for 2 spots in 4 laps. All I can say is calamity will ensue as 10 cars are going to roll off into turn 1, and if half of them pile up, we re-rack it and attempt it for 2 more times until we get to the 3rd restart, and if someone piles them up, they're getting disqualified. So as we rev them up, 10 cars for 2 spots, 4 laps. To decide it, it's lights out, away we go. Terrible start from Casey Lester as they're 3 wide for the lead. Off the line with Wellborn, and that's LaPrade with Hagenstein. Kraus dives it in, as off the track is LaPrade. Off the track is Kraus. Off the track is Webler. So, out of the first turn, it's going to be Hagenstein leading as he takes the off-road. So does Wellborn. So does Cars. taking the chicane. Lambert's on the off-road. The two Weber cars, one Gymkhana, one pitting, and it looks like Brinksma took the jump. 3 cars pitting. Contact in the off-road section with cars. So we have 5 off-road, 3 pitting, 1 Gymkhana, and then the short course driver Jacob Kraus leads at the end of lap 1. And I still haven't yet to catch my breath. So let's reset the running order after the first lap. Kraus, Webler, contact with Hagenstein, turned him around. Wellborn, Lambert, LaPrade, Hagenstein, Cars is going to get it. So Cars, Hagenstein, Wetz, Brinksma, and Lester. Kraus goes off-road. Webler takes the chicane here on lap 2 as these races go really fast, and that's what our producers like here at ASN. Down the pit lane is Webler. So the Team Webler, powered by Mitsubishi crew, will now get to work. LaPrade takes the jump. Very, very nice jump from Dunn LaPrade. I haven't seen a jump like that in all race long, meaning all program long, actually. So Wellborn leads at the end of lap 2 with LaPrade and Kraus. So Kraus didn't lose that much time. I'm really surprised by Kraus's pace in the 29 car, as that Subaru, the Works Subaru, the semi-Works Subaru, might have a little bit more pace than the Privateers. As his teammate in the Works car, now, Kraus is in the wall. So, lap 3 here at Croft. Wellborn it will pit, so will LaPrade. So it's Wellborn, LaPrade, it's Kraus in the fence. Lambert, Cars got bit by the chicane again, it looks like. Webler, Wetz, Hagenstein, Lester, Brinksma. So, these two are pitting. Lambert is pitting. Kraus is going around the off-road lap, and it looks like Kraus hasn't pitted yet. No, he hasn't, so he's going to lose the lead anyway. So this is the battle for the lead with Wellborn. So Kraus we can factor out because he has yet to pit. So at the line, white flag, Wellborn, well, Kraus is your leader, but Wellborn will lead because Kraus has to pit. So this is the battle for the lead in the LCQ, as it looks like both these drivers haven't taken their shortcut lap, or the short lap yet. So Wellborn leading, Chris Wetz is in second. So here we go. Who will, these two are getting through as Kraus is pitting. I told you he's pitting. So into the corner. Wetz dives it in really, really deep. Locks him up. What is he doing? He was locked in. Around the turn he goes. He spins. Chris Wetz spins. And he's in the wall. And he's retired the car, unbelievably. LaPrade is through. Contact with Webler and Hagenstein as Hagenstein sent flipping. Webler third. Fourth, Lambert. Fifth, Brinksma. Sixth, Hagenstein. Seventh is Kraus. Eighth, Lester. Ninth, Cars. And 10th is Chris Wetz. Wow. Wow. Unbelievable. So that, we'll get the, just, wow. So let's go through here before we get the final going. So let's take a moment here and let's go through the results from the LCQ. Your winner convincingly was Mason Wellborn, and then Dunn LaPrade snuck in there after Chris Wetz outdrove himself, overdrove the corner, and spun the car, and it looks like he broke something when he spun because he immediately parked it. Webler, with that contact with Hagenstein, there was a formal protest lodged that did not go anywhere. He retains his third finishing position in the LCQ. That gives him 11th place. Lambert in 12th. Case Brinksma 13th. Hagenstein 14th. Kraus 15th. 16th is Lester. 17th Cars. 18th Wetz. Those two will not get any points. We'll go through the final results after the final, but those are the results from the LCQ. So on track now, your 10-car final. This is what we've all been waiting for. I hate to say the cliche, but it is what we've been waiting for. 10 cars for 4 laps around the strategy-built circuit here in Croft. On the front row, Tanner Smith, Daniel Bellamy, Aaron Johnson, and Josh Mertz. On the back row of the grid, we have Luke Fleming, Keith Sherman, Caleb Paul, and Dylan Livengood. Then on the back row of the grid, Mason Wellborn with Dunn LaPrade. So, 5,500 horsepower is going to get ready to go for 4 laps around this technical Croft circuit. We're glad you can join us here on the Automotive Sports Network On Demand for round 1 of the NASA RallyCross Challenge as 5,500 horsepower revs it up here in Croft, and it's lights out. Away we go for the first round of the championship. Side by side for the lead, passing the start-finish line is Mertz and Tanner Smith. In second or third is Dylan Livingood. On the outside, Mertz cut his nose off. Off the track is Mertz from the lead. So that resets everything. To the off-road section on the first lap goes Livingood. Bellamy goes, taking the chicane as LaPrade, Wellborn goes, so does Mertz. Smith takes the short lap. Johnson pits, Caleb to the short lap. Around is Sherman with Fleming. So, at the end of lap 1, it's going to be Smith leading as, let's reset it here, Smith, Paul, it's going to be Livingood, then Bellamy, LaPrade, Mertz hauling it on the outside. We can't see it because of our cameras, but he's passing everyone trying to redeem himself here. So, it's going to be Mertz, Wellborn, Sherman, Fleming, Johnson. Tanner Smith takes the off-road lap in a privateer Subaru. Then it's Caleb Paul in second in his privateer Subaru. Then the Works Mitsubishi of Dylan Livingood. Looks like Livingood might be pitting this time. Here in car number 1. And we're inside car number 1 here in the Revolution Racing Mitsubishi as he's pitting, pulling into his pit stall. The Revolution Racing crew is going to jack up the right side of the car. Remember, it is mandated that they're NASCAR style. There goes Mertz, and I believe that's LaPrade. As it looks like Bellamy, I'm being told, has flipped the car. Yes, he did. He's off time. No, he flipped it back over. Okay. Here goes Livingood. Out of the pit lane! The engine is gone on the defending champion's car! The double defending World Drivers' Champions engine has expired. So, that is everything. We're on lap 3, entering lap 4. Livingood, 10th place, last in the final. Pitting is Smith and Mertz. So is LaPrade. Bellamy's pitting. Off-road, Caleb Paul. Wellborn's pitting. Fleming on track. Aaron Johnson. Sherman's off the track. Livingood staying there. Looks like he hasn't climbed out of the car yet. Smith beating everyone out of pit lane. Coming to the white flag lap here. Caleb Paul is your leader, but I do believe he has yet to pit. So Tanner Smith, the rookie in his first start, can you believe he's going to join the ranks of Elliot Porterfield and David Krikorian if he can hold off everyone here in the charging pack? Mertz has clambered his way to second. Where did he come from after bashing his way into the tire barrier on the first lap? Smith to the pit lane, or the Gymkhana section. Mertz is going to take the short lap. He has to execute this perfectly if he tries to get this victory. Can you believe he is competing for the win off of the final corner? Tanner Smith has the run. As at the line, it's going to be Smith winning with Mertz in second. So from in the wall to second is Josh Mertz. Winner, Tanner Smith in his first start. Third is Luke Fleming. Fourth is Paul. Fifth is Dunn LaPrade. Sixth, Bellamy. Seventh, Johnson. Eighth, Wellborn. And here's ninth, Keith Sherman here at Croft. As what a race here at Croft. As we're going to go through the final results here from the Croft circuit. Your winner, Tanner Smith. This is also going to be point standings as it's not really changed. Your winner, Tanner Smith, who is leading the points with 21. Second place, Josh Mertz, who won his heat in second after spinning off in the first corner in second with 18 points. Third is Luke Fleming with 15. Caleb Paul is fourth with 13. Dunlap Prad is fifth with 12. Tied with him, Daniel Bellamy in fifth, but Bellamy won his heat. And then seventh place is Aaron Johnson with 11. Mason Wellborn has 9 in 8th place. 9th place, Keith Sherman with 8 points. Dylan Livingood in 10th with 7. Eric Webler in 11th with 6, as he is the best of the rest. As Brandon Lambert in 12th with 5. Case Bringsma in 13th with 4. Tristan Hagenstein in 14th with 3. Jacob Kraus in 15th with 2 points. The final point scorer, Casey Lester, with 1 point in 16th place. Nick Kars and Chris Wetz did not score any points after Wetz blew it away from the transfer spot in the final turn. And the two drivers for the Citroen team that were unable to make it, Cody Erdman and Sam Limbaugh, both on the charts get provisionals. That will be 19th and 20th place. They don't score any points anyway. That's the Drivers' Championship. We're going to go through the Manufacturers' Championship now. After the win with Tanner Smith, Subaru is on top with 21. Citroen's in second with 18. Then it's Ford with 11 points after the 7th place finish from Aaron Johnson. Then Mitsubishi has 10 with Levengood, and 12th place, the only Volkswagen on the field, with Brandon Lambert. Your 2013 B Works Constructors Championship results after one round. Carolina Motorsports A-Class is your leader by 9 points over the Citroen Red Bull World Rallycross team because of the 5th and 3rd places from LaPrade and Fleming, respectively. Mertz, the only point scorer for Citroen today, and Levengood, the only point scorer for Revolution today. So it's 21, 18, and 7 for Carolina, Citroen, and Revolution. We're going to move forward toward your 2013 B Semi-Works Constructors Championship as Mangled Lemons Racing, 8 points with Keith Sherman as he made the final, as his teammate did not score in 17th place. Team Webbler, powered by Mitsubishi, both missed the final with combined total of 7 points. Lambert finishes 12th. He's the only car on his team, so he only gets 5 points. That's going to hurt him, along with Carolina Motorsports B-Class. They only have one driver currently, and Jacob Kraus got 2 points today. In 5th place, the Citroen Junior World Rallycross team with Sam Limbaugh, 20th place according to provisionals. He didn't get any points. Your 2013 B Privateers Championship. This is going to open it up to the drivers that may not have the talent level or the equipment status of the Works teams. Tanner Smith showed he has the talent level, winning and beating the 2012 B champion and beating the 2012 A champion and beating the 2012 C and 2013 A champions. That's Mertz, Lambert, and Levengood, winning his heat and the race from pole position, 21 points. No Fear Racing with Caleb Paul is 4th. Best finish for him, as I believe he finished, 6th in 2012 A, although we only had 9 cars for that race. He has 13 points. And then the other No Fear car, completely irrelevant from Caleb Paul's operation, Daniel Bellamy with 6th spot. He won his heat with 12 points. Aaron Johnson finishes 7th in his second start, as I believe he finished 7th, He finished 2nd in his first start in Germany last season. He has 11 points. Mason Wellborn, with his private effort, finished 8th. He has 9 points. And then Tristan Hagenstein, 13th and 14th. They have 4 and 3 points respectively. As now the final championship, and it's the most interesting one, the Nations Cup. We have 4 nations represented in today's race, and the United States are leading by 1 over Germany, as Smith and Mertz finished 1-2. And then Canada with Levengood finished 10th, and the Netherlands with Hagenstein finished 14th. So that's United States, Germany, Canada, Netherlands, 21, 18, 7, and 3. So those are all the results here, as we're going to go through the final social media plug of the race, as our Facebook page, facebook.com/Automotive Sports Network, twitter.com/ASNTV_USA, hashtag ASNTVUSA for Facebook and Twitter. YouTube.com/ASNTVUSA is ASNTV On Demand, which you're watching this on now. Our Twitch page, which we have no idea when it will start, but when it does, twitch.tv/ASNTVUSA. Our site, which is still being worked on, and we are switching domains, so completely ignore the ASNTVUSA.tk element there. Our creator-producer hasn't made a new graphic, cough, cough, Victor Valley. And if you have any comments, questions, concerns, or suggestions, or any broadcast inquiries, email us at asntvUSA@gmail.com, and we will be happy to reply. As this broadcast was brought to you by Java Shot Designs, if you need any broadcast, my mind is still on broadcasting, just like the end of the Las Vegas race. If you need any paint scheme done for any of your racing interests, contact Adam Sweet at his page, Java Shot Designs. Check him out at www.facebook.com/Java Shot Designs. So, we had the social media plug, we had the Java Shot plug twice in the race. We had an incredible race here at Croft. The next round is in the Netherlands at Valkenswaard, as we finally are going to be able to show you that race. So, 9 p.m. Eastern Time next Monday, the race will premiere on demand. This Thursday, the Fast Precision Cup Series from Texas World, the shootout, will premiere on demand, 9 p.m. Central Time, or 9 p.m. Eastern, on ASN On Demand. So that's the only thing we have for the rest of the week here on ASN. Check out our Facebook page for any and all information, as I hope you enjoyed today's broadcast, and from all of us here at ASN, have a good night, everyone, and so long.